Alright everyone, it is going to be a earlier start than the timer says. The timer is a lie. We're going to be getting started here before 2 minutes here. Go ahead and just take down the timer, it doesn't matter any. And I will be once again joined by Scribe. How you doing, man?
Not too bad, man. I've been eating a lot of
Unfortunately you cut off there at the end, so we can't be jelly about your food choices. Unless it's
yeah,
Chipotle again.
dude, I don't know, man. That's an entire possibility. I could just go to Chipotle again, although it is further from where I am now because I moved recently. So
Ooh.
that's kind of the unlucky part of it. I can't get Chipotle whenever I want.
Oh, that's rough, man. That's rough. I mean, honestly, Chipotle burritos before cast sounds like a pretty good deal. Chipotle sponsor the stream. Easy. But yeah, no, we'll be getting into this match, guys. We do have Reason versus Random, and honestly, I have high hopes for Random. They honestly looked pretty good, especially at the beginning there. They showed a lot of understanding that. Uh-oh. Okay, it looks like. Okay, they're gonna go ahead and restart, and okay, we still have players as leaders, so we're good. Anyways, oh no, now I'm leader. That's fine. I can handle it. What I wanted to say though is that they looked good. They had that understanding that you need to be aggressive. You need to put the enemy team on the back step, and you really need to assert your dominance. You know, for just a frank way to put it in Overwatch. If you don't, then you let the other team dictate the pace, and when it's a time-based game, that just doesn't go well for you. And it seemed like Random Six had a good understanding of that. But our map is going to be Lijiang Towers, so fragging power is now going to be the biggest factor. Fragging power, team shotting. Is there anything that you really look for in King of the Hill matches to really help you see the who's going to win sooner? I guess if you want to look at it that way, you know, what factors really show to you as far as important in King of the Hill play or in the sense of, I guess, good King of the Hill play.
Yeah, so I think one thing to really take into account.
Oh, your mic is unfortunately cutting off again. If you could,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's all good.
Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't know why it's cutting off, but that's interesting. But yeah, I think honestly the big problem with some of this stuff, or like they do on King of the Hill, the difference between what you should really focus on is target selection. Mainly because on King of the Hill, taking down one person actually does do a lot more because it's more of a deathmatch style where it's actually all about fragging ability. If you take down a key, fragger, it's not about how long they can like stall you out for. It's literally they might not be able to hold the entire point. They have to back off and they have to go do that. So that's the one big difference I like to see a lot of teams go work on is specific executes that target backline threats or they target specific DPS players or specific support players and to move forward with that and try to push their advantage. But another thing to watch out for is just ultimate management and managing the clock. And that's something that inherently a lot of teams might think about a little bit in the back of the head, but it's not something a lot of teams actually think about in their forefront is just managing your percentage. If you're up against 80% and, let's say you're at 80% and then let's say an enemy is coming in and it looks like a clear wipe, don't burn your ultimates. I mean, you still have a lot of time to take you a lot of time to come back. You had to kind of calculate how much you can hold on for each point, as well as which ultimates you feel definitely needs to be, conserved, because every second you don't have an ultimate is another percentage that the other team is going to get on their clock.
It's very true. I have to agree with that. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can wrestle control of that, you can get yourself in a position, especially when you look towards the last percentages. I mean, those last fights, a lot of the time when you're in control of the point, if you have 3-4 ultimates to just throw at the team that's trying to retake the point, they're gonna have a hard time getting in. There's been a lot of matches where I've watched where teams will lose the last point. We're still having ultimates up, and it's very awkward or lose at 99, lose the point at 99% when still having ultimates up. Because at the end of the day, especially when you're up like 99 to 10%, you should be committing all your ultimates and say, okay, cool. Let's if we lose this fight, we lose this fight, but let's try to win it. Let's try to use, all of our ultimates. Let's commit to winning it, and we have that 80% to go ahead and build them back up and take another big fight with all those ultimates. And I really agree with you. I think it's something that a lot of T2 teams can start to think about and actually start to really read into, because that is what separates at the top of the game right now at the T1 scene is those ultimate managements. But it's also, of course, I think one big thing that comes to mind for me is retaking the point. I've started to get a lot more into that when looking into the game, is that retaking the point, like being able to have a clean execute to retake the point, is so important in King of the Hill, because if you feel as a team that you can't consistently retake the point, it's so awkward. There's so much more mental pressure on your first fight. It's so, I mean, and also, I mean, just from that position, if you can't retake the point, then how are you going to win King of the Hills? it's one of those things you have to be ready to take it back from the enemy team.
Yeah, and that's something we can really take away from other games, especially Counter Strike
Yeah.
or League of Legends or specific stuff like that, where like or Dota, where you specifically have planned engagements and plan executes for that strategy. And honestly, I think that's something that teams should really look into as the game gets more technical and everyone starts being able to hit those shots. Right? Let's say right nowadays, you can say there might not be players who can just say, I want you to McCree headshot this specific target. People might not have the confidence or the ability to do that, but once that starts elevating, everyone starts getting better. All of a sudden, it might make sense to have something in the bag going into those first points, especially on hybrid maps, and especially on King of the Hill maps. That specific retake. I mean, like, I think on like Lijiang especially, there's so many different options in terms of retake value that you can go and you can set up different ways for everyone to move into different areas. I think that's something that teams aren't putting enough emphasis on. I think they definitely need to look into that in the future.
Yeah, I could definitely get on board with that. And I mean, it also I think one of the biggest impacts of just shifts in that respect is going to be King of the Hill. But we'll see if we get started here in just a second, guys. It should be just a moment. It looks like, okay, we do have a ready from one team. Will we have the ready up from both teams? Let me double check on Reason. And once both teams are ready to go, guys, we'll get right into it. I unfortunately need to click the start button. I have the power. I can do everything. I can ruin everything. But instead of ruining it, I'm going to click the start button. Hopefully everything gets going easy peasy. And it seems that seems to be the case. We're on Lijiang Tower, so it's going to be our first map. I think that obviously does make a little bit of a difference too. And it looks like it is going to be, okay, we're going over to Control Tower. So Control Tower is probably one of the, I'd say the one where you see the most different strategies potential. This is honestly where I really first saw a lot of the 3 support being played on this map, was specifically because once you get you can play the Reinhardt a little bit more accessibly on this map, because you can push through, you can make sure that your Ana's protected, and you can consistently I guess control choke points with the Reinhardt plus Ana. Whereas some of the other Lijiang, it doesn't work like that. And actually, yep, what do you know? They're going to be running 3 support in Reason Gaming. We'll go ahead and get the quick introductions done. Optimus on the first one. He's picking up the Zenyatta. We have Seb going to be picking up one of the tanks. He's Zarya Danchu. Second support, going to be picking up the Ana. We have Tomzi on the Lucio. On the third support, Saz going to be picking up the Genji. And then last but not least is going to be Snizzlenose picking up a Tracer.
So we have Zaipai on the Lucio, Yeri Z on the Reaper, Sissy Chu on Zenyatta, Nixie on Winston, and Callie on Zarya.
See what they can get done here. Is they're going to be looking to try to get an early lead here against Reason Gaming. Callie's already going to take out Tomzi, and that's one big problem with the triple support comp, is that they do lack engage when they're going to be running a double DPS option. I don't know how I necessarily feel about this iteration of it. We'll see how it goes for them, as it is going to be Random 6 getting an early lead here, as they're going to take the point as soon as it unlocks. Might be a chance here for Reason Gaming to contest it, but I imagine Random 6 will be accruing some percent here.
Yeah, I mean, the big issue here is they have a super strong engage comp, which leaves them very, very vulnerable to, flanking, to people targeting their support line. They need to keep those alive. And Danchu, everyone's going in, engaging, but in the back line, it's exactly what I was talking about.
And now he's going to get the help getting a first kill onto Zaipai, but Yeris is doing big work in the background. Not exactly sure how he got the kill, but he does take out Optimus, and it looks like Sichu will end up taking out Tomzi, and Sentry as well going to chime in. Every single member here of Random 6 making a difference for their team so far in this game. And this is definitely Reason Gaming a little bit on the back foot here, and I feel like this is a bit of an experimentation. We'll see if they end up changing it up here, but I definitely feel like they need a second tank with this.
Yeah, I think honestly they have it. They just need to be cohesive, and the fact that Shaz needs to get ultimate pretty soon.
Yeah, no, and I'll specify, I definitely feel like it's not just second take. They definitely need a Zarya to be dealing with some of this damage, but Yeris is going to end up taking out Optimus. Snizzlenose will get the trade though, so both Zenyatas are dead, as we have a Winston and Primal Rage going to be fighting it out, but the Death Blossom goes out with the Pulse Bomb stuck to his back. He's going to end up killing him, gets himself a kill before he goes down, but Snizzlenose on the second kill. The second one being the Pulse Bomb. Now going to be looking for the third. Zarya in a weird spot. Seb ends up taking out Yeris, and it looks like Danchu will end up taking out Callie. So without a Zarya, they will end up taking this point. But I definitely feel like if they're going to be running the double assassin plus... Okay, there we go. Actually, no, they are running it. So they did switch off of Donshu switched off of the, okay, I see. They switched Donshu off of the Ana onto a Winston. So they are just running a standard 2-2-2 double assassination, double assassin hard engage. Let's see if that works for them.
Yeah, that Graviton Surge is going to get negated by the Transcendence, and that's going to hopefully stall the fight. But if you look right now, TomZ's just playing so safe right now, attacking over behind and just trying to build the ultimate charge right now. But man, that's not a lot of damage. Optimus takes down Nixie, which is great already. Sizzle Nose takes down 62. Man, they got kite out this last Dragon Blade from Chaz.
And if he gets any more kills with this, I think they're going to go ahead and stabilize. That one more should be enough, but yeah, there it is. Snizzleno's going to go help take out Kali. He did take some damage from that Dragon Blade, and now the Zypai will end up going down. Will the Tracer get away? He's trying. Here he's possible. Looks like it is going to be possible for him to get away, and Shaz will go ahead and get topped off. So they do take that fight, but I have to agree with you in a lot of ways that, you know, it's getting a little bit awkward here. And the ultimate charge, it's starting to be firmly in favor of Reason Gaming at this point.
Yeah, oh man. Finally pushing up TomZ off of that top perch position. And Sizzle Nose takes down 62, which is a good trade, but Sensei takes down Sev right now. Man, that ultimate, the drop the beat is going to hopefully make it a lot of damage. Snizzle Nose takes down 2, and Shaz takes down Sentry, and man, this is just a great cleanup overall.
Snizzlenose got himself a 3K in that fight. Absolutely doing work right now as the Tracer, and this is definitely Reason Gaming lighting up. Of course, this is their first match of the day because they did not have a round of 64. They had a feed in to their round of 32 as they had a bye. So this match, very important for them to not only get warmed up, but also to get that confidence factor going if they're going to continue to go on through the day. But Random 6 not looking like they're going to easily fall over. Shaz pushes forward with the Dragon Blade, gets himself not 1 but 2, as he's going to help Sev get a kill onto Sentry. I think he definitely helped participate in that as Snizzlenose were on his camera. We know that he did a lot of damage to that Winston with the Discord Orb, absolutely shredding through him. Optimus is going to take out Kali, and these kills are just lining up one after another, and Random 6 went from having firm control of the point, firm control of the fights, to losing the point for an extended period of time, and it might just end up in them losing the first map, and that is going to be the case. Scribe, what did Random 6 do wrong there? I mean, obviously, we talked a little bit about the retake potential, but they lost the point. They had such firm control.
Yeah, honestly, it's tough to say. It's just that they were able to sustain the fights on the side of Reason Gaming. And when that inherently happens, when you're, and this is kind of like something that's really interesting. If anyone was watching TomZ, I specifically was, but TomZ actually was staying up on the upper perch near the site, where he's just kind of sitting there and doesn't really care. And kind of like mainly what he's doing is providing heals over the entire site, as well as, you know, getting ultimate charge if he starts left clicking targets and starts building up ultimate charge even more. But the fact that he goes and is able to maintain that level of, you know, sustain is great for your team overall. And I think an issue is, you know, once that dive comp, once that engage comp starts going, you have very little answers to respond to it. And I don't think they pulled out McCree almost at all in that last minute.
Okay, well, we'll see if they can fix that and get it going here. But Shaz, he's going to be a critical member. We're on Snizzlenose for now, though, as earlier or later on in the match, he did definitely light up with that double kill pulse bomb plus the 3K to finish it off. We'll see if they can actually get a good fight here, but it just doesn't look like it. We're on Snizzlenose's camera, so not sure exactly why they didn't get a good engage, why they just kind of sat there and didn't do much. But now, Random 6, firm control in the early fights, going very, very handily over to the side of Random 6.
Yeah, they honestly just got split up. When your squishy DPS healers have to somehow run through the rest of the enemy team or to get into the site. That's not something anyone wants to do on their side. But good job staying alive and just building up ultimate. Snizzle is on 80% ready, which is great for Tracer to try to get a pick. Also, it counteracts an early Transcendence as well.
It's also worth noting, I just noticed Shaz at 50%, so they do have some charge to be working with for maybe not this fight, but definitely the next one. Donshu's already going to take out Sissy, so that's a trade of the choose as one goes down, but one being a healer is a pretty big deal, as Yeris is going to take out an opposite number of the healing core, taking out that Lucio, but it's not enough yet. Pulse bomb comes out from Yeris. Oh, there's the bubbles, though, to prevent a lot of that damage. Snizzlenose fighting up against Yeris. Yeris in the background going to absolutely shred Sev, but Donshu lit up the kill feed with the help of Snizzlenose, and that should be the take of the point as Reason Gaming got the better portion of that fight.
Yeah, honestly, right now, all they have to really depend on is, I don't really think they should be engaged right now. I think you should really build up Reaper and Tracer Ultimate on that side in order to retake better, because that Dragon Blade's going to come in and cancel out a lot of the attacking abilities that you so wanted, and man, Sensei gets taken out by TomZ, which is not a good start to this fight.
This is not going at all the way Random 6 1 and 2. They do get a kill from Nixie, but he's just going to end up going down here. Don't know about this. I really disagree with the sound break, but nonetheless, they are going to go ahead and use it to help clean up the fight. Kali ends up falling off the map Might have been knocked off, might have ended up running off by accident, but in the end, Nixay will end up going down, and that Winston Primal Rage could have been used for this next fight. So could the Sound Barrier. So both teams committing a little bit of ultimates that they don't necessarily need to. However, the side that can afford to do that right now is definitely Reason Gaming and Sev. Oh man, this is going to be... we need to see the side of Random 6 come in different angles, but they are just going to all come from one angle. They're all going to go into the one same spot, and the Pulse Bomb, Snizzlenose absolutely blowing up his IP as he ends up going down, and now Sensei is going to get maybe a kill. Yes, he does end up taking out Chaz with the help of taking out Sev with the help of Nixay, and Sisichu does take out this Lucio. So maybe Reason Gaming, not enough members to fight this out here, as they do only have really the 2 assassins left. Genji will be there in just a second to fight it out, but Tracer, not enough to fight it by herself. 40% plays 60%. Random 6 gets themselves a chance in this game again.
Yeah, and honestly, that's exactly what they had to kind of wait for, was that Reaper ultimate to really abuse the fact that everyone gets crowded together. They have a lot of squishy targets on the side of Reason Gaming, so Random 6 does have that option there. Right now, they need to play aggressive. Honestly, yo, get out in their face. Don't stay on the site. Try to push into them. Try to force them to take fights with you. And Jazz goes down is a great sign right there, as well as Tomsy going down.
And that was all about on the back of Yeri's just walking up and sticking him. That's the nature of Tracer. But also getting quite a bit of good tracking here. He is dealing with the targets after that pulse bomb very well, focusing them down. And it seems like right now Random 6 has had themselves a little bit of a better look on this game. And if we look at the ultimate charge, they are not doing so bad. They do lack a lot of defensive ultimates, as they do only have 1 compared to basically the 2 the Reason's going to be having up for this next fight. But they do have other ultimates to match. Transcendent's going to go ahead and go off from the side of Reason, as they want to push it and try to take this fight. Optimus now going to be now they have the option to get Tomsy's sound barrier up and get that healing, that barrier. But Chaz with the Dragon Blade, he's not getting that much done. A Death Blossom from Citrace. He gets himself a double kill. But the kill feed, definitely more blue so far, as I saw 3 names before that double kill. And now the Pulse Bomb goes off, and the Optimus is going to end up taking out Yeri's. Optimus, does he get himself the triple kill? He won't end up, as he does go down to Nixay, but can't fault him there, as he does get quite a bit of damage done. Sets up his team to be in this position to take the fight. And now it's on the back of Snizzlenose, Danchu, and Sev, as they need to win this fight. They will go ahead and flip the point, 70% on 99, and Reason Gaming again has a chance to go ahead and shut this out 2-0 and be up a map point.
Yeah, honestly, right now, unlucky ultimate timings, but Sensei and Yeri Z will not have their ultimates in time. Chaz is already at 65%, so basically Sensei needs to be able to stay alive for the next few fights to help clear, because right now, sure, you can have a Graviton Surge, but, you know, if Tomsy drops the beat and goes for an engage, it's not exactly what you want there.
Graviton Surge hits on a few, but is it going to be enough? That's the question. It doesn't look like another Graviton Surge comes out. This time it's Sev's. And doesn't look like anything happened from that. No kill feeds were on Optimus, as he's been doing a lot of work. This Transcendence, waiting for that to get the healing off for his team. And they are winning this fight right now. The kill feed set. Oh, the double tap headshot from Optimus. That's gotta feel good as a Zenyatta. At the end of the day, Tracer is your natural hunter. But when you can be the hunter, it feels a lot better when you're no longer prey. And that was Optimus making a huge difference for his team. And I mean, that's a subject we could talk about in and of itself. At the end of the day, we talked about fragging power at the beginning, but how much do you honestly evaluate having a Zenyatta that can absolutely handle themselves under duress, dealing with those tracers, and getting those kills? I mean, compared to other heroes, how much importance would you put that on? Or
honestly,
put that...
Yeah, honestly, that's actually really high on the scale, having a Zenyatta that can take care of itself, because it's not just limited to Tracers and Winstons. It's literally, honestly, think about it this way. If a Genji tries to go with Dragon Blade into your team and doesn't have a Reflect Up, and you could double headshot him and stop that Dragon Blade activation and as well as save the rest of your team, I think that's extremely positive. And because Zenyatta, you know, in the old meta used to be so flavor of the month, did so much damage. More importantly, if you still have Transcendence up and you can stay alive for that just that second longer, that means so much for this team.
We'll see if Sisichu can go ahead and match, as they do need to try to match on every... Oh, but Danchu just ends up deleting him. Great initiation coming out there, as both the Tracer and the Winston immediately went on to the Zenyatta working together. Danchu's going to make it a double kill, as we're watching the no brain, no aim here. Pretty easy with that Tesla cannon, but nonetheless, it's easy to aim, but the positioning, the initiation, Danchu, the coordination there, that's what you need coming out of your Winston plus your 2 assassins. They need to be on another degree of synchronization, and they are achieving that for Reason Gaming. But Random 6, they're going to go ahead and run the Reaper still. They think that they can get this done with the Reaper Tracer versus the Genji Tracer. And And they need to. I mean, they're down 2 maps. They're on the back foot. They need to win all 3. Yeris is going to get himself a kill onto Optimus. So if there is a target that they want to focus down first, I think that is definitely a good choice. But the pulse bomb goes off, gets nothing done, and Yeris is now on the escape plan. But with no ball, the rewind had to use it, but didn't have any blink charges to get away. And now Reason Gaming is in a very, very strong position, especially when you factor in their lowest ult 60%.
Yeah, and that's the problem right now. Sensei's still solo sitting only at 33, so their timeline is very, very get ultimate until 60%, and they're gonna go engage still, but they don't have any tools to use this.
They need to get away to, they need to find a way to exhaust it, but they're gonna go ahead and side of Reason Gaming access that Sound Barrier and that Dragon Blade, comboing them together. Shaz gets himself a double kill, and in the background, Danshu gets himself another as well. It looks like Nixay did end up using the Primal Rage. Again, I disagree with this Primal Rage use here, but nonetheless, he might end up knocking off Shaz, taking that kill as Yeris has some space to work with due to this Primal Rage. Will end up getting 1 kill onto Lucio, gets a 2nd kill onto Optimus, and they're starting to light up the kill feed. The last few have gone to the favor of Random 6, and Reason Gaming, staying a little bit too far up, does end up putting themselves in a position where they are spread out. The point 3/4 the way capped over to Random 6, but Danshu takes out Sissy Chu. And it's up to Sentries, and it's up to Yeris here as we're on both of their cameras. They do end up getting the point, and they needed to do that, but a Graviton Surge goes out. Reason Gaming needs to capitalize on this Transcendence. Oh, Pulse Bomb! Great play by Yeris. Yeris has been doing so much work, this Tracer play from him. Very good. Not only, of course, his target selection, his positional play, but also just in the clutch, as Yeris gets himself another on Tom C's. Sentries gets the double with the Death Blossom, and Random 6 has bought themselves a moment to take a deep breath.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to hold this point for a decent amount of time. Callies and Sissy both ultimate, while on the other side, you can clearly see their counterparts don't have the same counter ultimates. They don't have enough percentage right now. Danchu and Tomsy will be the first to get it, but right now I think all Reason Gaming needs to do is play safe or, engage and try to get some more follow-up.
Oh, that Graviton Surge. Not quite the wall Graviton Surge, but will stop that initiation. Callie getting forced down here, actually, dealing both with the Winston and the Genji, but does have the team in the end after that Graviton Surge. Would hope so, considering he set him up pretty well, and they do end up backing him up, and they will hold. Teamwork, good play, and now they have ultimate advantage overall. And the ultimates they have, minus the Primal Rage, are all very high priorities, you would say.
Yeah, that great drop the beat right now, allowing for the engagement on the backline by Danshu, but obviously Transcendence helps that engagement further even more, put down even more damage, and now Shaz has his Dragon Blade right now. If they can wait out the rest of the Shizzy choose Transcendence, I think they can do a lot more damage.
They still end up losing Sentry, and Zype out of that. Callie will go ahead and use that high charge to just melt down the Genji, and this is what Zarya does with high charge. She can absolutely delete targets from the map. But they do end up trading up a lot of those ultimates from the side of Random 6. Nothing left in the tank here. Is Reason Gaming is going to push forward.
They need to engage now. They have such a small window of opportunity to use all these engagements, and obviously that great Graviton Surge catches so many of them, and that small window of opportunity just closes so quickly.
He had one up the last fight too, Scrub. I mean, Callie is really putting in a lot of work for his team right now, and it looks like they are going to go ahead and take the point. And obviously there's other members that are responsible for that, but when your Zarya can light up like that, get those kind of kills and get that damage in and get those Graviton Surge, I mean, high priority ultimates, Graviton Surge is probably considered the highest one in the game right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just such a game-changing thing. It's a projectile too, which I think makes it even stronger. The fact that you can fire it from a relatively safe location, you group the enemy team together, which makes every ultimate in the game so much easier, and almost even besides that, even if you just look at an ultimate management point of view, almost guarantees baiting out a Transcendence or a drop your beat just to mitigate damage and not get wiped. I mean, at worst you get 1 ult for 1 ult. I think in that deal, but it's all about landing them, and Callie with the very smart, aiming at specific chokeholds, and that's something I think teams need to be a little cognizant of, is the fact that if we keep on running through the same chokehold, if we make ourselves predictable, there's no flanking plan, we might put ourselves in a position where we get caught by one of those Graviton Surges again.
I definitely agree. Splitting up and going in multiple angles, very critical, as it looks like Snizzlenose is going to take out Sisichu, but the 2 kills for Random 6. And definitely the big ones here. Sentry, oh no, he's trying to get that health back. Will end up getting it, but will end up going down to Snizzlenose. But it's a good story for his team nonetheless, even though he goes down. They were winning the rest of the fight. And Yeris, well, we were on the wrong person. Shaz didn't do that much. Yeris did a lot, and the opposite side, Snizzle knows as well. So both Tracers really doing a lot here, and that is King of the Hill. Tracer does do a lot of work, but at the same time, it's not just that you pick a Tracer and you automatically do everything for your team. You have to be playing the hero well, and Snizzle knows and Yeris seem to be presenting big threats to their opposite teams.
Yeah, right now. And look at that backline push by Optimus. Optimus the backline trying to 1v1 duel the Winston, but hopefully he doesn't stay alive. Instead, he goes down instead. So that turns the fight a lot right now. Now, the team of Reason Gaming is going to have to watch their backs as well, trying to avoid a lot more of the damage.
Dragon Blade activated from Shaz after the Pulse Bomb gets a kill from Yeris. Sev going down will help them a little bit, but Shaz doesn't get any value out of this Dragon Blade, to be honest. And his team is just falling apart. If you look at the HPs at the top left of the screen, even Donchu is kind of low. As of course, like we were saying, he was fighting off that Zenyatta, or no, sorry, Optimus. But did catch Optimus falling there at the end, as you called that out. And I mean, I just feel like, again, it's been the same story every single time. So far, it's been Random 6 coming out to an early beginning. Very strong, very aggressive. They get the point. But then over time, it just feels like the wrestling play coming out of Reason Gaming. They take their time, they build up the ultimates, and they end up getting the better fight. Graviton Search will go out, but they're going to go ahead and commit everything. Optimus and Tomsy using the Transcendence and the Sound Barrier at the same time. In fact, the Transcendence is still going on when the Sound Barrier fades, and it looks like that is going to maybe bite them a little bit here. Death Blossom doesn't do much. Sissy Chu with his own Transcendence keeping his team alive. And Callie, we're on the wrong player here right now. We're going to switch over to Callie as he gets caught in a Graviton Surge, Caster Curse, but he's still alive. 100% charge, pushing forward and just absolutely melting target after target. Callie with a 3K. And you know what? Zarya can carry your games too, guys. If you need a hero to get ranks with and to get good with that works on every single composition, on every single map, Zarya.
Yeah, oh man, that's gotta be a lot rough. Snizzle knows also commits the ultimate, doesn't pick up anyone else in the back right now. When you don't have a support and don't have to amplify damage from everyone else, it's gonna be very difficult. Shaz needs to pick up at least one more kill trying to do it, but Reason Gaming is turning this fight slowly around.
Off the back of that damage, you were right. He needed to pick up one more kill. He gets a few slashes off, damages him up, and it looks like Snizzleness and Danshu there to help clean it up. So good target focus, good team play. And at the last moment, on the cliff of tying the series, Reason Gaming says no. You're going to have to prove yourselves, Random 6. You're going to have to not only take this map, but you're going to have to take it with basically 99%. Like the tease of the victory basically is what ended up happening there. But it's a question of whether or not Random 6 will be able to get their aggression going. There's not many ultimates available here as we're on Shaz. He does get up to 74% through that though, and that's what will end up happening if you don't take out a Genji early on and you do have that Discord orb on your Winston. He's just able to shred the Winston, not like unlike normal, and on top of that, he's able to get his ultimate up really quickly. And this is where it becomes really hard. I mean, again, it is a test now for the side of Random 6. They have to rally together and they have to take this, but they do have ultimates to work with.
Yeah, honestly, the big priority on the defense right now inside of Reason Gaming is how do we neutralize or how do we stop the Reaper ultimate? Because that's what's going to be the most game-changing ultimate in this game because that provides so much clear right now in the backline. They need the great Graviton Surge catches out so many, stops so much of the initial damage.
Shaz going to get some big slices with that Dragon Blade going on with it. It looks like a Death Blossom goes out from Sentry as he gets himself not one, but two, make it maybe three, as he helps his team get the kills. And I'm just pressing the wrong spectating hotkeys here as we want to follow out the Tracer. We want to follow out the kills as he was trying to get more damage done, but maybe in the end this fight just didn't get anything done for them. They don't end up taking the points. Snizzle knows Danshu, they're the ones lighting up the kill feed in the end, and this is just not exactly at all what Random 6 wanted. They got their opening 3 kills, but then it just fell apart from there. I did not see what happened there. It looked good for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's just about, consistent team fighting. The fact that, Genji has that potential reset. Honestly, the fact that he immediately killed Yeri out that fight is super big.
And well, Random 6, 91% plays 99. They're down the map. If they lose this, it's over. It's done. It's only a best of 1. Remember that, guys. Everything is on the line here as Random 6 tries to get it together. Yeris is lighting up as he gets himself a double kill on Optimus and Donchu. He's going to help take out Sag as well. Will he make it the 4Ks? He's looking over on his opposite number. The other Tracer dancing around. Will choose to just help take out Sev. And it looks like it is going to be a 4 kills total for Yeris. He did participate in all 6. And that will be maybe the game here. Reason Gaming needs to get back on the point. It's so close to getting over here. We'll go into the overhead view so you guys don't get too much motion sickness, too much vertigo. And with the Death Blossom channeled in the main, it will be impossible for the side of Reason Gaming to get on the point and take it. That will be Random 6 tying up the series 2-2. Now, again, best of 1. It all comes down to this map. All of the hopes and, Reason Gaming coming off a victory against FaZe, coming off a very strong performance on the Ghost Gamers Weekly, as players, they're feeling like they probably should make it. With all due respect, they should make it to at least the top 8 in this event. They need to prove it now. Tied 2-2.
Man, this is gonna be a little stressful right now. It just seems that they get so behind on the ultimate counts and the percentage that it just didn't really matter. How many fights they won because they were stuck at 9. And they couldn't lose a fight at all, and they put so much pressure on it. But a big thing right there is how crucial TomZ was when they initially won the first iteration of that map on Command Center. Being able to put out consistent healing and heal them up and be able to drop the beat safely. But the fact is, he got pushed off the map by Nixay, which caused that last fight to go right.
Well, it looks like it is going to be Reason Gaming giving up the garden section, and that's not what you want to do ideally. But they will get the first kill out of it, so working out for them. And now Callie's going to end up going down, and that's one of those targets that they do need to take care of. But I say that, and then as soon as I start talking about something good for Reason Gaming here, Yeris, and it's just the caster curse Sentry. I'm just gonna shut up right now. Everything that's going well ends up going wrong right after I switch heroes. As Sisichu will get himself a pick, but this is definitely gonna be Reason Gaming's first point take.
Yeah, and Reason Gaming switching up a little bit with the McCree and with the Reaper, meaning that they're gonna be focusing on point control. Just flashbangs and just, making sure that there's no way to attack that backline and keep them safe. So I agree with this approach. It's a lot less aggressive, and I think it's going to be a lot more consistent for them.
Well, and it's also very impressive, too, on this map specifically. I mean, the offense is going to have to push through chokes like you were talking about earlier. As the offense, you want to be very careful on this map on King of the Hills about going through as a team stacked up together. But on this map, it's almost impossible to not do that without staggering your initiation just a little bit. We'll see if they can take advantage of it here. Sound Barrier is out. Reason Gaming gonna help. Callie goes down, and Snizzle Nose, Shaz comboing together there, and Snizzle Nose continuing to get more damage. But in the background, his team is falling apart. Sentry's gonna go ahead and channel the Death Blossom, get himself no kills off of it, but does do a lot of damage and forces the rest of the team back. As Reason Gaming will lose the point. Random 6 takes back control, and the map continues to unfold. But 34%, 11%. I did not expect this round of 32 to be this close, Scribe. I was not prepared for this match.
Yeah, and honestly, right now is this Reason Gaming trying to figure out what the right answer. And they tried going to Fair and switched back, so Snizzle's lost a lot of ultimate coming back from that.
That's a big thing to read into. I completely agree with you. They are uncomfortable then, and that's something that is definitely not good for them. They are the better team as far as results go, as far as tournament experience goes. But they are not showing it here, as of course they are having a little bit of that indecision. Graviton Surge going to go out, point take going to be attempted here as Sentries, and this is just not good at all. They ended up going into a choke, and they ended up getting the first few kills, sure, but then Sentry just said, I have 2 shotguns, and I'm going to blast shot after shot into that choke point, gets himself a double kill, does huge amounts of damage, and he had a Death Blossom leading into their point take, and he's already up to 70%. A little bit faster charge would have been ideal, but he's going to get his ult up meaningfully here in just a moment.
Honestly, this is a huge room for an engagement. You need to engage from both sides, pinch them. You can't keep on attacking this chokehold, because I can almost guarantee that one day Callie will get a great ultimate. But that pulse bomb does take out ZIP, so that's a really great position for them right now.
They need to take out Sentries, and actually, no, that's the new patch, Sentry. You don't want to ult like that. 0.25 second immediate decharge time, and he's going to have no Death Blossom. Reason Gaming pushing in here, member after member falling for the side of Random 6. As Sijichu goes, this is a great place to be, but as soon as it's done, I'm all alone, and he gets cleaned up very quickly. It looks like ZIP going to be in a similar position as Winston will get sound barriered up as they go ahead and commit the sound barrier. I don't necessarily agree with that. They could have just stalled it up to 99% without it. They need to go ahead and sacrifice their loss here as Yeris is going to come in. Maybe not. Maybe they can end up taking this fight. As Donchu goes down, Yeris is doing huge amounts of work. The Death Blossom goes out, but there's the Transcendence to keep his team topped off. And this might just be a bad situation for Reason Gaming here. They did use the Transcendence. They did use the Death Blossom, and they haven't taken the point. It's still in the hands of Random 6. And if Reason Gaming is not able to take the point here, Callie gets another kill. Yeris gets one onto Sev, and the Pulse Bomb is available. We'll see if Yeris can get a good one here as he goes ahead and throws it off, but nothing there. Sentries, Yeris, we'll see if they can continue this big plays, these big moments for their team, but Nixay and Callie on the last 2 on the kill feed. It's going to be the game. No! Reason Gaming gets knocked out in the 32 to Random 6. What a better name, too, to do it. Oh, man.
Dude, man, just take any Random 6, man. You can beat Reason as well. FaZe, Jesus, this was honestly a lot of this was just just I don't know what they didn't stick to their game plan. They just for some reason just did not coordinate ults. They just start feeling rushed, and that's exactly what I talked about time management. You have to feel comfortable. Hey, even if you're down 80%, if you have a good idea going in for a specific execute, maybe try something different. That's something that was a little frustrating for me, was watching Reason Gaming do the same exact engage over and over and over again. I'm pretty sure they never even try going on to the other side, shifting the defense, forcing the defense to move, maybe lose some of the initial setup that they had, but it's just a little frustrating. I mean, in the back line, I think the best part of the iteration of that fight was Optimus was having to fight like the Winston 1v1, and that's like maybe the third, fourth, fifth instance of that having to happen, and that's not a good look for the team. And man, Reason Gaming, after such a great success, maybe they're tired, maybe they're just they're exhausted, maybe they're just watching tape last night, but that's not a great result for them. And but Random Six has to be happy, although at the same time, it was super far out for them, honestly, being down 2-0 and having to sweep back.
The momentum that they must be feeling as players, I definitely think that's the two stories. Unfortunately for the side of Reason Gaming, it is a very, they fell short of what they would probably be expecting of themselves and what the community would be expecting of them, considering what they recently did against FaZe and knocking them down in the lowers bracket of the Ghost Gamers Weekly. But that is going to be that match, guys. And Random Six, that's the other story. They just went from 0-2 to 3-2, taking it against a Reason Gaming. Now, Random Six is not necessarily a random team. I know I've seen them around on the bracket. I know I've seen them do well. And as far as players go, they definitely have some experience in the competitive scene, but this was definitely the better team as far as paper goes with Reason Gaming. So a big name to be taken out by Random Six as they continue their tear through the bracket. We'll go ahead and before we get into the break, see, as it might be a little bit of a longer break here between the next map, but it is going to be, I believe, Inro Griffins they should be playing next, as Inro is taking on Dark Horse. Definitely, I mean, Dark Horse would be a Dark Horse in that respect, but Inro Griffins is going to be most likely the map, the team that they will be playing, so we'll be following that out. But even if Random Six gets knocked out now, they definitely can feel confident about the performance against Reason, and honestly, I think with that kind of momentum, it's going to be hard to knock them off of this this throne, this saddle that they put themselves in, because I mean it's rough to lose 0-3. If anything, it puts you in just such a good position. Oh, actually, we might actually just go to a different match. Team Project versus Lemix is going to be going on, and that could be an absolutely huge match. And so we'll probably be getting into that. Actually, we might just go right into that. But yeah, it's got to feel good for Random Six, considering the backswing that they just ended up taking the map off of.
Yeah, and honestly, that's so much momentum going there. It's got to be frustrating, but it's also at the same time, I wouldn't. It's kind of thing that it could be a false positive there in terms of the performance of Random Six. It's just that hey, we won the King of the Hill maps. We're feeling really good. We're feeling top, but you have to realize that you guys were down 0-2 at some point. There has to be something that goes ahead. It's like, okay, guys, we can't get super excited. Let's not get overconfident. Let's try to put ourselves in a position where we can challenge ourselves and take on from there. So honestly, there's a lot to take away from the match, but mainly it was just that Reason Gaming just could not find their tempo. And honestly, this is something what I felt like a lot of tier 2 teams and kind of like lower end tier 1 teams have trouble with, is that they run one composition over and over again. They run one style over and over again and one setup that they don't really have a second option. It works against their scrim partners, and let's say they're dominating, they're winning games with it. You never really have the incentive to go change. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And that's honestly like a pretty negative outlook to have, especially in this rapidly growing and developing game. So I definitely think Reason Game is going to go back to the board. Maybe they're hiding some secrets because maybe they just don't want to show everything they have before like their next few games. But at the same time, they just were doing the same approach over and over again, the same executes. And at the end of the day, do you expect your team, the other enemy team, to not know how to deal with it after the third or fourth iteration of seeing it? Probably not.
Adaptation, definitely a big part of this, but I can't echo it any more than you've already said. And we will be leaving Random Six for now, hopefully going to see them later on in the event as they continue their tear, guys. But we're going to be getting right into the next match, so unfortunately this outro is going to be a little short. And that's such, but we will be getting right into another match. The round of 16 Lemix versus Team Project is coming up for you guys in just a moment. Of course, we're going to take a short break here, so me and Scribe can go ahead and rest our voice, get some water, compose ourselves, and get ready to cast the next match. But the round of 16 for the Go4 EU Overwatch Cup number 14 is coming up. Lemix versus Team Project. This is going to be a hype match, guys. Definitely get on social media and let your friends and fam know about this match. But me and Scribe, or Scribe and I, because grammar is important, when you're in these kind of positions. It is an oratory position, should be using proper grammar, but nonetheless, guys, we'll be right back with this match here, and it should probably be one of the most exciting ones of today.